Hey friends, welcome back. We are on the top of a little mountain. Nate and I climbed up and thought this would be a great place to film some videos for you. So today I have a couple topics that I want to talk about that are a little hard for me to talk about simply because I used to believe certain things for a long time, and with time I have changed my beliefs, but this doesn't mean that I've changed what I eat. It's changed how I think about food in general. So let's chat a little bit about that in this video. Thank you again for joining me. As always, if you love these videos, if you're loving Vlogmas, then click like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get notifications for more, you can click the little bell. And we have 40% off any or all of our ebooks. They're raw, vegan, oil-free, delicious, yummy stuff that you can add to your life to eat more raw food and enjoy raw food. So that code, again, is rawfood40, and the link is right here or in the description box below. So, let's chat about some things that I used to believe following a raw diet that I don't believe now. And this video doesn't have really anything to do with food. It does, because we're going to talk about food, but it's mostly about the mindset surrounding food. Because that's really the issue when it comes down to changing over your lifestyle or choosing different foods. It's really your relationship with yourself and your relationship with food, how much diet culture might have its claws in you, what society has taught you and what you believe. Because I used to believe in calorie restriction and over exercising and portion control, eating high fat, a lot of that kind of stuff I believed. And I felt like I was a failure if I couldn't follow a diet or eat what someone else told me that I should be eating. The thing is that food is just food. It's our choices around the food that matter the most. Yes, obviously there's food out there that isn't ideal, and there's food that is more ideal. And we can look at the science and see and make a logical choice as to what we put in our body, free from the identity with food. So in the very, very beginning, I used to call myself a raw vegan, as in I used to identify with being a raw vegan. That was like my identity. And so if I ever heard someone going back to cooked food or what have you, I might feel like, they should be raw or whatever, because I was stuck in that diet culture, raw is law kind of a mindset, or in the early days. With time, with the years that passed, I realized and I learned that it's not so much the food, it's our mindset that is causing a lot of the discomfort and the pain and feeling like you're a failure if you don't do all raw and that kind of thing. So one of the myths that I used to believe and no longer believe is that cooked food is bad. Now, hear me out. I know people are gonna be like, oh, Lissa eats cooked food now. I eat raw food. That's what I choose, because I don't believe cooked food is bad. I just prefer how I feel on raw. And that's the reason why I choose raw. I don't choose it because I believe cooked food is bad. But in the beginning, I kind of thought that way because that's what everyone else was saying online. Cooked food is bad, it's evil, it's poisonous. And I've had to really work on my relationship with food. It's like, it's just a choice. That food is just a choice that you could make, and you don't have to identify with your diet. Like I said, I used to say I am a raw vegan. Now I say I am Lissa, and I happen to want to eat raw foods. That's what I want to eat. It's a way healthier kind of a mindset for me, and I feel a lot freer because I could choose cooked food if I wanted to. And there's different types of cooked food. There's junk food, there's animal products, there's cooked vegan stuff, there's steamed broccoli. Like, what kind of cooked food are you gonna choose if you're gonna choose to eat cooked food and not to feel guilty about it because you can't stay 100% raw? If you wanna be 100% raw, do it because you just genuinely wanna eat raw. So, lunch comes around and you're like, I feel like having a raw salad, then you eat the raw salad. If you plan your meals the night before and you're like, tomorrow I feel like eating raw food, so I'm gonna have this for breakfast, this for lunch, and this for dinner, and this for snacks, then that's what you feel like having, and you're not choosing it out of a fear-based mentality. where you're scared of choosing cooked or scared of not healing if you're not 100% raw, because I've seen people heal while eating cooked food. And I'm not going to say that all the raw vegans should just go out and eat cooked food. Eat what you want. That's the whole point. Eat what you want and listen to your body. And if you prefer raw, then eat raw. So that's something that I used to believe that I no longer believe. And there's different, like I said, different kinds of cooked food. There's like steamed broccoli or boiled potatoes are going to be less dehydrating on the body than, say, bread or crackers, right? That's going to be a little more dehydrating on the body. But so can raw food. Raw food can be dehydrating on the body if you're eating a lot of dried raw crackers and kale chips and other things like that. So really, honestly, it's just about the way you view food, and it's your choices. You are in control. You can choose what you want to eat, and just listen to your body after you've eaten that food and see how you felt. If you feel better when you eat a raw salad, then choose a raw salad. But don't choose it because you're going to feel crappy if you don't. Choose it because you feel good when you do. I also used to believe that you need to be 100% raw in order to experience the benefits of raw. And yes, I used to believe this, so do a lot of other people. And the reason why is because it's perpetuated in the raw community, saying you have to be 100% raw to get the benefits, but it's not true. You can eat more raw and get benefits. And just the more raw you eat, the more you might notice. And you might just be eating 70% raw or what have you, but even the numbers don't matter. Just eat raw foods because that's what you want to be eating. It's very, very difficult to break free from the mindset. And if this video is making you feel a little uncomfortable, I know exactly how you feel, because I used to watch videos like this and feel uncomfortable because I wanted raw to be like this pure and perfect, something I would put on a pedestal, but it's just a choice. It's just food, and I choose raw foods. Again, I'm not eating cooked food for those who are wondering. I just don't desire it. So they can be essential in certain situations if you need those extra calories or if you don't have the funds to do fully raw. There's so many different things that come into play. Maybe your gut microbiome is not ready for the amount of fiber, and that's okay too. Just add more raw. That's my message. That's what it's always been, is to add more raw into your life and enjoy the abundance of plant foods. Find the vegan connection and really make those compassionate choices, not just for yourself, but for the animals and the planet as well. So the raw thing is just a choice. It's not an identity. We are not our diet. We are not what we eat. We are ourselves. We're beautiful souls, and we're here to experience life to the fullest, not to feel guilty about not being 100% something or another. Like the perfectionist mindset, again, I love talking about this because too many people feel it, and I've felt it too. I felt it before. I used to be so stuck in that mindset. Even like before I went raw, I would try to be raw and I would feel like a failure, but I wasn't a failure. I wasn't a failure at all. I was still Lissa. I just made a different choice. So if you feel like you're a failure because you chose something differently, remember that you are not a failure. You tried something, you made a different choice. And now after, all you really have to do is just look back on your choice and logically look at it and say, why did I choose that? What could I have done differently? How would I feel differently if I made a different choice? And don't tie your identity or your self-worth into what you did or didn't eat. Really, the bottom line is to eat in abundance, eat in variety, choose plant foods, and choose raw whenever you want. Whenever you want. It's your choice, and do with what you can in your area or your finances or the availability, the seasons. It's going to be different for everybody. And that is another thing that people kind of get a little hung up on, is that they feel like they should be 100%, but they might not be able to in their area. So then they feel like a failure because they're not able to do raw. And really, it's all about doing the best that you can, just making those choices because you want to, and breaking free from the identity of the label. So I hope you guys like this video. It might be an unpopular opinion to some, but I just wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts because this has been a big topic that I've been talking about as of recently, maybe the last year, and I haven't done videos in a long time, so I feel like my views have changed a little bit. Again, I'm not eating cooked food. I prefer raw, and that's why I eat raw, but I just want people to realize that you are perfect exactly the way you are, and your diet doesn't define you. You're just making those positive choices. So if you like this video, please click like, subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more, and if you want, you can add more raw food to your diet and grab some of our ebooks. The ebooks are all 40% off. There's over 700 raw vegan recipes in there, including burgers and soups and salads and all kinds of fun stuff that you can add to your life to enjoy more raw food. Experiment and play around with some different combinations. But you can get 40% off those ebooks with code RAWFOOD40. The link is right here or in the description box below. I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to me and enjoying my content, all your lovely comments. I do truly appreciate them. So until the next video, fruit on.